www. What's HTTP? HTTPS definition. HTTPS stand for Hypertext Transfer Protocol Security. What's HTTPS? HTTP definition. HTTP stand for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. https://www. www communication. www is about communication between web clients and servers. Communication between client computers and web servers is done by sending HTTP requests and receiving HTTP responses. What's web server? What's client server? A web server is a computer system that delivers web pages to users over the internet. It essentially acts as the intermediary between a user's web browser and the website's files, handling requests and sending back the requested content. It can be both hardware and software, or a combination of both. The client-server model is a computing architecture where client devices, like computers or phones, request services or resources from a central server. The server then processes the request and provides the necessary data or functionality back to the client. This model is widely used in various applications, including web browsing, email, and online gaming. What is domain? Domain. A domain, in the context of the internet, is a user-friendly name that serves as an address for a website or a collection of online resources. It's a string of characters that replaces a website's numerical IP address, making it easier to remember and share. For example, instead of typing in a complex IP address like 172.64.148.142, you can simply type web hosting. What is web hosting? Web hosting explained. Web hosting is an online service that makes your website's content accessible on the internet. When you purchase a hosting plan, you are renting space on a physical server to store all the website's files and data. HTTP request, response. Communication between clients and servers is done by requests and responses. A client, a browser, sends an HTTP request to the web. A web server receives the request. The server runs an application to process the request. The server returns an HTTP response, output, to the browser. The client, the browser, receives the response. The HTTP request circle. A typical HTTP request, response circle. The browser requests an HTML page. The server returns an HTML file. The browser requests a style sheet. The server returns a CSS file. The browser requests an JPG image. The server returns a JPG file. The browser requests JavaScript code. The server returns a JS file. The browser requests data. The server returns data, in XML or JSON. XHR, XML HTTP request. All browsers have a built-in XML HTTP request object, XHR. XHR is a JavaScript object that is used to transfer data between a web browser and a web server. XHR is often used to request and receive data for the purpose of modifying a web page. Despite the XML and HTTP in the name, XHR is used with other protocols than HTTP, and the data can be of many different types like HTML, CSS, XML, JSON, and plain text. The XHR object is a web developer's dream, because you can update a web page without reloading the page. Request data from a server, after the page has loaded. Receive data from a server, after the page has loaded. Send data to a server, in the background. The XHR object is the underlying concept of AJAX and JSON. Web browser. A web browser is an application that requests and displays web content, while a web server stores and delivers that content to browsers. Browsers, such as Chrome or Firefox, act as clients that send requests for web pages, which are then processed and returned by the server, according to what's web hosting. Web hosting is a service that allows individuals and organizations to make their websites accessible on the internet. It involves storing website files on a server and providing the necessary infrastructure for users to view and interact with the site. Think of it as renting space on the internet to store your website's content and make it available to the world. What it is. Storing website files. Web hosting providers own and maintain servers, computers, that store all the files that make up a website, including text, images, videos, and code. Making websites accessible. When someone types your website address, domain name, into their browser, the web hosting service directs their request to the correct server and delivers the website's files to their device, allowing them to view the site. Essential for online presence. Without web hosting, your website would not be visible to anyone online, even if you have a domain name. Types of web hosting. Shared hosting. Multiple websites are hosted on the same server, sharing resources like storage space and bandwidth. It's a cost-effective option, especially for beginners and smaller websites. VPS hosting. A virtual private server provides a dedicated portion of a server's resources to a single website, offering more control and performance than shared hosting. Cloud hosting. Websites are hosted across multiple interconnected servers, providing scalability and high availability. Dedicated hosting. A single server is dedicated to one website, offering maximum control and performance. WordPress hosting. Specifically optimized for WordPress websites, providing features like automatic updates and enhanced security. Web server. Function. Stores web page files, responds to requests from web browsers, and delivers web content using the HTTP protocol. Purpose. Hosts websites and other online content, providing services to clients. Difference between web browser and web server. Web browser. It is a type of software that we use for browsing and displaying web pages that might be available over the internet. It is a type of software that searches, finds, and provides documents to the browsers, as requested by them. Web server. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. HTML is the standard markup language for web pages. HTML elements are the building blocks of HTML pages. HTML elements are represented by less than greater than tags. Front-end, programming, language. HTML consists of 6 tags. 1. HTML. 2. Close HTML. 3. Header. 4. Close header. 5. Body. 6. Close body. HTML elements. An HTML element is a start tag and an end tag with content in between. Less than H1 greater than this is a heading. Less than H1 greater than. HTML attributes. HTML elements can have attributes. Attributes provide additional information about the element. Attributes come in name, value pairs like charset equals, UTF-8. What is the Document Object Model? What is the DOM? The Document Object Model, DOM, is a programming interface for web documents. It represents the page so that programs can change the document structure, style, and content. The DOM represents the document as nodes and objects. That way, programming languages can interact with the page. Example explained. HTML elements are the building blocks of HTML pages. The less than, doc type HTML greater than declaration defines this document to be HTML5. The less than HTML greater than element is the root element of an HTML page. The lang attribute defines the language of the document. The less than meta greater than element contains meta information about the document. The charset attribute defines the character set used in the document. The less than title greater than element specifies a title for the document. The less than body greater than element contains the visible page content. The less than H1 greater than element defines a large heading. The less than P greater than element defines a paragraph.